Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. But really, flat Earth, isn't that a step too far? You know, we could look into all the other conspiracies. I get it. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, 9/11 was a false flag. We won't talk about that. And, but flat Earth, right? That's the attitude that we all have when we first hear it. A lot of people just tune out because they can't hear it. But those that stay and are willing to look and are willing to get past the propaganda, if they can, it's not easy these days, although I make it easy, your life changes forever. So how long have you heard about flat Earth?
So I heard about it years ago, but I was so plugged in that I was just like, yeah, that's insanity. I'm not going there. I was like, it's not even worth my time. But then I started to recognize some people that I have a lot of respect for that were entertaining it. And I was like, this is interesting. All right. And I started getting to these Twitter spaces, or these conspiracy spaces. Yeah. And it was just, you're talking about a hot topic. People just at each other's throats on this. And there were good arguments. So I was like, you know what? I need to look into this. Forget what NASA's told me, forget what schools told me. Like, show me the science here. What's really going on? And, I've heard about you before. And then a mutual friend is like, dude, I can connect you. So I was like, let's make this happen.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. So, you say the arguments are good. I used to think the globe arguments are good. But I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. Okay. Now you got to remember, things fall into 3 baskets. Hey, this only works on a flat Earth. Like, we can see, hundreds of miles. All right. That only works on a flat Earth. Then there's things that work on both a flat and a globe, like circumnavigation east and west. We go circles around the center. Okay. That's the same on a globe and a flat Earth. And then there's things that only work on a globe Earth. And for 10 years now, that bowl's been empty. Can't find a single thing to put in there. If you can find, or one of your listeners can find one thing to put in that third bowl, give me your Bitcoin address. I'll send you 3 Bitcoins.
There you have it. The man's offering the Bitcoin. So if you have it, there you go. But I'm thinking if he's offering a Bitcoin, you're probably not going to find it.
No, right. And I'm serious, 100%. And it's a simple, my honor rule. Where's the official rules? Here are the official rules. Show me a globe proof. Not only will you get 3 Bitcoins from me, you'll be world famous because nobody has ever done it. All the scientific experiments by all of the main scientists throughout history to try to prove axial rotation, which you have to have on a globe, and curvature, which you have to have on a globe, have all proven the opposite. Okay? But you don't learn that in school. Okay? Right? This is a balloon at 120,000 feet. That's about 20 miles up. Does the Earth look like it's spinning 1,000 miles below you? 1,000 miles an hour below you? Does it? The funny thing is, it was up there for 3-4 hours, and then it came down, and it landed pretty darn close to where it took off from. Shouldn't the ground have moved 3,000 or 4,000 miles in that amount of time? What is holding that balloon to a geostationary spot above it, right? When people first hear about flat Earth, they're already programmed with this image. Okay? Google flat Earth, and then click images. This shows up. Okay? No flat earther thinks this. Okay? No flat earther thinks that. Only globe earthers think that we think we're a pancake and the other planets are round. No, that's 2 false models. The heliocentric model is a satanic, we'll get into that if you want, false model. And the disk floating in a heliocentric world is another, even faker model. Right? So before you unsub, leave a nasty comment, start fighting. You're going to get a lot of new subs too. Trust me. I lost a lot of friends. I have a lot of new friends. Okay. So it's all good. Before you do any of that, ask yourself, what do you know about your model? Your model, the heliocentric model, right? And because you don't know anything, right? You don't know anything about your model. For example, this is your model. You're on a ball. Right? Figure this out. Okay. You're on a rock surrounded by water, surrounded by air, adjacent to the vacuum of space, the void of space, no pressure. Okay. What happens when you open a bottle of something carbonated? When you open it, what do you hear? What's that doing? What's going on there?
Letting all the
You know,
gas escape.
it's letting it, why is the gas escaping? Because it's trying to equalize around you. Okay? If you opened a soda inside of a vacuum chamber, it would violently explode to fill the space, right? High pressure violently fills the space of low pressure. You know, the lower the pressure, the more violent it is. The lower the pressure, the bigger the storm. Okay? Right? Because it's always trying to equalize. You can't have high pressure adjacent to a vacuum, a void, no pressure, without a physical container. Where's the container on the globe Earth? So you have that paradox, that impossibility. You're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, but Dave, we're already going 1,000 miles an hour. I can drink a glass of water on an airplane, right? And I can walk to the bathroom and I barely even know I'm moving. Well, one, you do know you're moving. Two, you want to compare an airplane to the spin of the Earth? First, double the speed of the airplane. It needs to go 1,000 miles an hour, not 500. Take off the outer shell of the airplane because the Earth doesn't have an outer shell. You're on the outside. And nosedive down around that curve as fast as a free-falling skydiver, because that's how fast the plane would have to nose down at that speed just to follow the curve and not fly off into space. Let me know how your water's doing, and don't worry about the bathroom because you already went, right?
Let me give you...
Wait, just let me finish. Last thing, 2 seconds. We're also orbiting around the sun, speeding up and slowing down in a elliptical orbit, an average of 66,600 miles an hour, funny number. And we're chasing the sun, it's running away, but all the planets are keeping up with it beautifully at almost 500,000 miles per hour. Okay? What do you think about that?
I'm not buying it, man. I'm not.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the one thing that was presented to me. This was the one that was the little light bulb went on.
Oh.
They were telling me, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but if I'm standing at the beach and there's a ship out, on the horizon, the curvature of the Earth, I can see that at a certain distance. But as that ship gets out farther, I should start to lose sight of it because the Earth curves.
Well, sometimes you do lose sight of the bottom of the ship.
But if I get binoculars or a telescope and that ship is way out there, I can still see it. And like I said, I forget what the equation is, but
I can tell you. So here we have, you don't see anything on the horizon. So we're zooming in and we're increasing the angular size. And as we increase the angular size, all of a sudden we go, look, there's a boat right there. There it is. It was there the whole time. Now watch, as I go out, these little waves in the foreground, they're getting bigger because they're closer, and the boat's getting smaller, and it's disappearing from the bottom up. You see that? It's gone. It's not over the curvature, because if it was over a curve, my mouth is behind this curvature. We zoom in, you still can't see my mouth because there's a physical curvature. The globe requires there to be a physical curvature at a set distance based on the curvature formula. Flat Earth has an optical horizon. Okay? Right? People, well, Dave, those waves are only a foot tall. How are they going to hide the ship? Can my finger hide my entire face?
No.
You sure?
Well, yeah. Okay, you got me.
Okay. So people don't, we're not taught about how perspective works, how everything comes together in from the sides. It all comes to a point. Everything looks like a sphere in space, when I don't believe everything is a sphere. Maybe some things are, but that doesn't dictate the terra firma on the ground. But sometimes, when you zoom in on a ship, you can't see the bottom. So the waves create a false horizon under certain conditions. So this is your horizon, but when we zoom in on this horizon and these ships all of a sudden appear out of nowhere, you can see that this is a false horizon, and these ships are coming up. Look, there's a ship. Look, is he going behind the curve of the Earth or a false horizon? Okay? Sometimes when there's more consistent waves, the boats won't be going up and down, and they'll just be hidden, and the globers will scream, Earth curvature, but they're not even realizing that we shouldn't see any of the boat at that distance. Okay? A glober, someone that's defending the globe, whether they're ignorant, like I was ignorant, it's not a bad word, whether they're ignorant and just fighting their childhood beliefs that they live on a ball, or they're paid or possessed to fight the flat Earth, they all freak out. They're like, oh, look, I can't see the bottom quarter of that ship. therefore the Earth is curved. Meanwhile, you shouldn't see the very top of the tower of that ship because it should be way over the curve. So that's like that was the same thing that got me. Ships over the horizon. I live on the water. I went and bought a P900. It had just come out at that time. I zoomed in and I could see beaches. I could see people. I could see buoys. I could see all sorts of stuff that I should not be able to see. So once you understand, here's the thing. If you want to learn about flat Earth, you can't Google it because it's just going to feed you propaganda. It's just going to feed you nonsense. The algorithm changed in 2017. That's how I was fed a couple videos. I was given videos and I wouldn't watch a 1 minute video. It's too stupid. I don't have time for that. But then another researcher, another friend who said, Dave, you got to look into this. And she sent me Mark Sargent's Clues and some other videos. And I watched them and I said, okay, this is weird. I'm just going to disprove it. And for 2 weeks, I tried to prove the globe, right? I didn't even try to find the truth. I tried to prove the globe, disprove flat Earth. That was my goal. That was my mission, right? Biased attitude. And I couldn't find anything to support it. I couldn't find anything to support the globe. So once you go there, there's no going back. There's no going back.
This was the last question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Why the lie? Why all this effort into the lie?
Can we hold off on that? Because that's the best question. Right. It's my favorite question. It's the best question. And I'll do a whole show just on that question.